Hey, I'm so happy to see you again. You are welcome back to Consent Hub. The last time we've learned to define what consent means, in what circumstances to give consent, understanding the basis of consent, right? I hope you've been able to learn one or two things from that. Today we will continue on this journey of demystifying consent, I would say, and talk about the stereotypes regarding consent. You know, in a situation where consent was given once, assuming that consent is permanent is wrong. You need to maybe check in once in a while to see if the consent is still valid. Somebody can give you their consent today, and 2 hours or maybe the next day they do not want anymore for whatever it is that the consent was given for. It can be changed. Do you get me? Also, assuming that non-verbal communication is enough consent, and this I'll tackle the aspect of clothing, like dressing. Most of the time when rape happens in our society, the victims are often blamed or asked what they were wearing. Like, what were you wearing? It doesn't make any sense. Your choice of clothing is not consent. What you choose to wear is not enough consent for somebody to think that it is an invitation to do whatever they want to do to you, or to come to you or rape you. And I want everyone to get this in their mind, that a woman's choice of clothing is not consent. Either revealing, either too short or not, it is not an invitation. Consent is irrevocable. Thinking that consent is irrevocable, it is wrong, and people have that misconception. It goes back to join the point I raised in the first place, that consent is permanent. No. Assuming that you have consent because of prior relationship or prior association with someone is very wrong. Yes, and this maybe can be found in the situation of exes, people that are still friends with their exes, and then they think that, well, since we've been there before, there is something that is still ongoing. No. You need to seek consent. Maybe if anything, you still need to ask. You do not assume consent because you were once a couple and now that you are exes, so consent is still ongoing. No, I can change my mind. And lastly, I'll talk about what people assume as consent is when you are under the influence of alcohol. Alcohol makes you vulnerable, makes you all, sexy, groovy when you are out and dancing and you are in your mood. Yeah, and then people find that, okay, this is you all dancing. Alcohol, when you are under the influence of alcohol and you are at the club, at the pub, having fun, you do wild stuff, you do things that maybe you can't recall yourself. You are under the influence of a substance, and people think that because I'm dancing, because I'm twerking with you or shaking my bum on you is an invitation. It's wrong. Stop harassing girls at the club because they are under the influence of alcohol, or thinking that because they are under influence and doing things that they are not conscious of, they have given you consent. You will go to jail. You will be reported because it is clearly not consent. And also, for these ladies, do take care of yourself and go out with people that can take care of you when you find yourself in such situations. Like, think about how you can get back home after having fun, and make sure you do not enter someone you are not sure about car, or make sure you have someone that can take care of you in such circumstance. Okay, so To wrap it up, this has been a few stereotypes regarding consent, thinking that consent is permanent, thinking that nonverbal communication is enough consent, thinking that consent is given due to prior relationship and prior association, thinking that consent is given under the influence of alcohol or drugs is wrong. Do not assume. Always ask. See you next time.